Let's transition to a conversation about the next chapter of your life. Why the decision now to move to a family office?
Well, I think you saw a letter I sent to my investors. It's not easy. I mean, the fellows on your show, the people you interview often, this is not an easy game. If you have a soul, if you have a heart, if you care about your investors, it requires a tremendous amount of focus. I turned 75 a few months ago, and the statistics say if you make it past 65 and cancer doesn't get you, you'll make it to 85. And I made a decision, and a very difficult decision, I might add, that I don't want to sit in front of a machine all day long worrying about my investor capital. And the toughest part of the decision, to be honest with you, is I get a little bit broken up about this. I had a team of 40 people, partners and associates that were fabulous, and in a family office, it has to be resized. And Steve Einhorn and I, who built the business together working as partners, we're both going to have our respective family offices. We're both financially satiated, and we want to give as long as possible the opportunity to the team to achieve what we've achieved. But, I just want to do something a bit different. I guess what galvanized it, I went to a Kenny Rogers concert. I happen to like country and western music, and Kenny, who's talented, was having great difficulty negotiating the stage. He acknowledged it. He says, "I'm turning 80. I shouldn't be doing this, but I've been married 5 times, divorced 4 times, and I need the money. And I don't need the money, and I've been happily married to my lovely wife for 54 years. And, his signature song was that you have to know when to hold them, when to fold them. And it was very important to me psychologically. A lot of people go out when they're down. And I think that is wrong if you could avoid it, because a high water mark is an asset of the investor. And if you give them back their money involuntarily, you're depriving them of an asset. We were up in 2016, 2017. We're up about 6 or so this year. Every investor that has money with me is at a record high in their capital account. And that's the time to fold them. And I'm not retiring. Everybody says retiring. What I'm doing is I'm retiring from the running client money. I'm going to focus on my own money. And my hope is I make a lot of money on my money and give it all the way back to society. That's my game plan. My signature activity at the moment is Cooperman College Scholars, where I have a program to fund 500 kids to go to college. I'm very proud of that effort. We have a couple that got into Yale this year, a couple got into Princeton, and we have a team that is really working with the kids. And there's other things I'm very interested in. But, the toughest part of the decision was, frankly, the resizing of the staff. I've always said, and I give a lot of talks at colleges and high schools and with the youngsters, and I said the best way to be successful is to do what you love what you do. Don't go into a field for money. Warren Buffett says it in his way, go to work for somebody you respect and admire, tap dance to work, and everything else will take care of itself. And I've loved what I've done for the last 51 years, and I hope to enjoy it for many years I got left.
No, it's been an incredible career. It certainly has. And I know from my conversations with you over the years how much you care about your clients. But as you say, I know this decision must have been incredibly difficult for you on a personal level from the people who have surrounded you at Omega, whether it's Steve Einhorn or just the rank and file who've stood by you over the last many years.
Yeah, I would say unequivocally. We lost a lot of assets as a result of what I felt was inappropriate actions by the SEC. One of my cause célèbres, maybe in my next life, will be to get a losing party pays legal system. Believe me, if losing party pays, I would have gone to trial because there was, in my opinion, very ample evidence of what would happen there. But, it's generally, it was a very interesting point made yesterday by one of your competitors. He said, generally speaking, guys like me go out for one of 3 reasons: crappy returns, fed up with clients, or bearish about the outlook. And the truth of the matter is none of those 3 pertain to me, basically. Returns have been competitive. My clients, I love my clients, particularly the ones that stayed with me. We went through a difficult period with the SEC. It came out as exactly what I said it would come out, that it wouldn't cost them a nickel, that it would not hurt performance. And that's kind of what happened. During the entire period of the SEC's involvement, we were up every year, and we were very focused. And I've had a great working relationship with Steve Einhorn for over 40 years, and I'm happy to say that relationship will continue. We've both agreed to consult our respective family offices. And Steve is a very, very smart guy, and his input can be very helpful to me going forward.
You know, I reached out to some of those who I know have invested with you through the years, and I also reached out to some of the heavyweights, if you will, of this business to get sort of their thoughts on what you've meant to the industry. Mario Gabelli, who I know has been one of your investors and stuck with you through thick and thin, writes to me, after Lee started his firm in the early 90s, he would grill me on stocks that he thought I had a core competency in. It was as though I was his younger teammate. He still does that. David Tepper wrote to me, I knew Lee from when he headed an investment committee at Goldman Sachs I was on, and I always considered him one of the all-time great stock pickers. David Einhorn says, Lee has boundless energy, is a fantastic storyteller with a long memory, and has an anecdote for every situation. But even more, he has a heart of golden generosity. He is a terrific example for everyone in my generation. Lee, when you hear that, I'm wondering what you think.
Well, it brings tears to my eyes. You shouldn't do that to me.
Well,
not in a public arena.
These are people who care about you, Lee. And look, you've had such a long and successful career. I know you're going to miss that part of the business more than anything.
Well, I intend to be very much engaged. As I said, Steve and I are going to keep running our own financial affairs, and I want to compound my money because I think Warren Buffett has said this publicly. When I took the giving pledge, I told him asking for half is not asking for enough. I intend to give it all away, and I'm going to give it to those organizations and institutions and individuals that have made a difference to me in my lifetime.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.